little bit of a longer intro today. I was a little disorganized getting in on this. So, welcome everyone to Everyman for Everyone, the show where we talk about the Everyman format, little format we created here at Married with Clix, involving nothing but our commons and our fast forces figures. So, before we get things started, we got a little bit of housekeeping to take care of. And I'm just kind of getting a few links, few things set up in the meantime, while we get ourselves set up. How do we put this? The first thing I want to do is talk about an article that just came out on majesticccg.com, and this is part of their free site, and it's an article basically outlining a lot of my goals and everything like that. Now, if you've been watching this show from the get-go and been following what my plan has been with the format, you've already heard me talk about a lot of this. There's a few more of my motivations, etc. there. So check that out if you want to get into my mind as far as creating the format. So take care of that. Next, I've been a little behind on the show, which is good because that gives us a little bit more to talk about. It's Sekiro Day, and I need to wait until midnight to be able to play because it's all installed on my computer, so it gives me more time to talk to you guys. What else has been up? We've updated the Everyman Project site to include the Captain Marvel movie set, which, whew, thank goodness, thanks to Aaron Cantu over at Two Clicks from KO, because I almost forgot about that. So we caught that, and it is now part of the format. Good news. What else is up? Before we get into things, nope, that's about it. All right. So everything's kind of caught up with. It's time to do my favorite part of the show, and this is my favorite type of episode. Somebody has run this tournament format, and as a result, they have come up with results. And I love when people send us results so we can talk about what's being used by the people who are actually playing this format. It's one thing to say, hey guys, I ran your format, but you did something weird or whatever. Or, hey, we ran format, cool. What did everybody run so that we can talk about it here? And the guys over in Reading, Pennsylvania have actually been super excited about the format and have been sharing the results of tournaments they've run using figures in the format. And I'm super excited to get a chance to talk to everyone about this. There's a little bit... so, first things first, this was a winner map that ran a standard 3-round Swiss tournament. Whoever won at the end of 3 rounds. And my correspondence has been with one Ricky Yell. He's very, very... excited about the format, and he likes to share whenever he gets a chance, whenever they run a tournament. And they've been running it kind of how I expected the tournament format to be run. Not all the time, occasionally, but when they do it, they try to do it as big as possible and try to play as hard as possible. This one was actually played on St. Patrick's Day, so we're talking about 4 days ago, which is good. It's still kind of fresh. And he got an email where he discusses the overall things. So some of what we're going to go over first is going to be just names, and then I have all their army sheets kind of downloaded. We'll decipher through handwriting, who's who, and what they're playing, and go from there. I kind of like showing people the things so that my human error isn't involved in things, and we can go from there. All right. So that said, I'm going to give him, he gave it in kind of a sports announcer type thing, so I'm going to try my best sports announcer voice to convey Rick's email. Once again, on location from an undisclosed location, it is the red-eyed intergalactic HeroClix ambassador from the red planet Slick Tricky Rick with an event recap for the Married with Clix Everyman project held at Golden Eagle Comics and Cards. While the world was honoring St. Patrick, 6 devious minds were taking the reading out of Reading, Pennsylvania in an Everyman Project Rock Win-A-Map tournament. Prizing for this tournament included Dice 3D Standard Objects, Professor X ID cards, Mr. Freeze ID card, Captain Cold WKO figure, Bombshell Hawkgirl Con LE, and the Prison Tier Neoprene map. The tournament was very highly contested. After 2 rounds, 5 out of 6 participants had a legitimate chance to win the tournament. Only 1 team was undefeated, while 4 teams remained logjammed at 1-1. The top pairing in the final round saw the newest member of the Guild of Mute Assassins and local legend, although he hates to be called that, but he has been playing Clix since Mage Knight, Ken Minton, who is undefeated with his I don't want to win map initiative so I can get a free prob bystander giant girl team versus the founder and El Capitan of the Guild of Mute Assassins, the Ayatollah of Clixola, Rick Yell. With his Skull Camp map inspired, I'm content to run you over with trains plus 8 Earth X theme team. Play was back and forth, but at the end of 50 minutes, there's a KO'd Thug, Karnak, Moira McTaggart, and X-Student. All other game elements were still in play. Maybe it was the luck of the Irish, but by the slimmest of margins, the winner of the St. Paddy Day Battle of White Tab figures was still undefeated was Ken Minton, 60-50. In the process, crushing hopes of all the other 2-1 teams, hoping for a 4-way tie that would come down to points for the swag. What I've learned after 3, and this is still in Rick's voice. What I've learned after 3 Everyman Project tournaments, Cable and Batman Beyond are good, but they have yet to win in tournaments. I've played in map location bonus. Map location bonuses are a big deal. Building outside the box can be rewarding. The Skull triple target mind control with improved targeting ignores characters was an excellent deterrent against repeated colossal retaliation. I can't wait to build with the unique uncommon The Skull and use the Skull Camp map in regular constructed games. Other than that, if any of your viewers are in the Reading area, check out Golden Eagle Comics for the win for potential HeroClix tournaments. All players are welcome. We are south of the Canadian border and just a little south of heaven. All right, so we're going to start talking about the teams and see what's up on that. So first up, we're going to go to that, and we're going to do this one. Yeah, I have 2 setups on my HC Realms bonus, so bear with me. All right, so this is the winner, Ken Minton. His team had the 50-point Avengers Infinity Fast Forces Giant Girl. The Fast Forces is the one Giant Girl that is legal. There's 2 there's 2 Colossals that are legal in the format. It'll be this Giant Girl and until rotation, Stiltman. He had a Tinkerer, an X-Student, a Moira McTaggart, Asgardian Shield, a Suited Henchman. He's got Rusty's ID card, courtesy of Moira McTaggart, and another Rusty ID card. Is that right? Is that cool? Wait. I don't know if I'm reading this right. Rick! He's got a Star Tower map bonus as well. Oh, no. He's got 2 different Rusties for his sideline. I'm misreading. My apologies. Ignore me. There was 2 different Rusties that could be on the sideline. I misread that because he put the points beside it. I got confused. And he's got the Stark Power map bonus. Now, as was said in the article earlier, map bonus, you don't want to win map bonus with this team because you want to bring out the Crimson Sage to get that extra prob bonus. A very cool use of it. It has come up. A few people have talked to me about the map bonus points. I'm not going to make any calls in regards to that until I get to until we get to rotation, and I'm going to make a final call on that. I'm still leaning on letting it happen because I don't like they're cool, they're big, and you're paying for it. And I do have to reassess a few of them, but once I'm done that full reassessment, pretty close. I'm gonna kind of take an inventory of things and how they look just before rotation, and then I'm gonna make my call at rotation as far as the Everyman format is concerned for map bonus, the 5-point map bonuses that exist. I think this is a pretty cool team. It's like you're using the 50-point Giant Girl, which means you got a Giant Girl with a stop click. He's got 25-point X student, which means he's able to pick whatever way he goes with that. The Tinkerer is enhancement and empower and creates objects. Where McTaggart, of course, able to perplex up the X student when required. Oh, sorry, and he's using 4 of the Giant Girl. Oh boy. I'm looking at it like, oh, he's got Giant Girl. Wait, where's the rest of his? There's 4 of them. Whew. Very interesting approach. Full-blown aggression. And, of course, that's 4 dudes with stop clicks. I'm still letting it go. I'm cool with this. This is actually kind of like the... This follows a lot of the logic that Tyler Spee's World Championship team kind of goes with, where he's got the 2 whales out there, and the 2 whales will have the stop clicks, which make them incredibly hard to kill, and they're already pretty tough. So... yeah, I like this. This is cool. And I mean, you got the Guardian Shield to protect dudes. You got a suited henchman to add to your character count ×2. Overall, it's neat, and I kind of see where Ken is going. A lot of the heavy lifting is done by the Giant Girl, and the Tinkerer is, of course, able to add the objects to make things just go and go and go and go. Like this is a ruthlessly aggressive team that is incredibly hard to score points off of, and I like that. I like that approach. And when you can do things like that in an all common format, I'm cool with that. So congratulations, Ken. This is an awesome team. I love it, and I hope we see more of your results with more really cool things. Oh, they have super strength. Oh, so Tinker is bringing heavy objects. That's awesome. All right, now. While the rest didn't win, it's always good to see what's being played. And there's 2 figures on this team I haven't even started reading yet, but they caught my eye immediately. And it's the Captain America and the Yellow Jacket from the Civil War OP kit set. Those are both incredibly strong dudes just on their own. Yellow Jacket with the ability to perplex everything. Captain America just, is very super defensive as it is, and yeah, overall pretty cool. Giant Girl, once again, 50 points. I'm guessing that's the Fast Force one again, I'm assuming. 50-point Hawkeye AI. Yeah, so this is your standard Avengers theme team using mostly commons. And the Asgardian Shield gets you that energy shield. I don't have the results as far as individual players, so beyond knowing that the other player won and Ricky was up against Ken in the final, it's going to be hard to know where people stand. But generally, so far, 2 really cool teams. This Avengers theme team, very neat. And when it comes to the format, this Black Panther is a solid figure. This Hawkeye... strong range rather is good, and adding the fact that Yellow Jacket is capable of perplexing the entire team is very, very potent with a team like this. All right, next up we have James Stover's team. He's got Cable, Moira McTaggart, the Fast Forces Beast, the Fast Forces Cyclops, and a Husk ID card. Also the Stark Tower map. So this is going to be a thing we got to start expecting. Is this Stark Tower map is going to be part of the format? And I was actually going to do an episode devoted to bystanders in the format, as there's all those maps that allow it and what strategies we can use with it. And it seems like the go-to strategy is to, of course, not care about your map roll as much, though this team looks very likely to win a map roll with a +4 X-Men theme team, because this format, as in its current iteration, kind of steps away from those. Excuse me, just readjusting my hat because I'm like that. This format in this particular environment steps away from where we see in the complete format or the full-blown format, where everybody who's playing a theme team is playing like a +7, +8 theme team, we're gonna go like +4s, +3s, +5s are going to be strong in this format, and you know map rolls are going to be won more frequently. Where James here is going to more likely win map roll. I believe this is an X-Men themed team. I'm positive it is. You know, I'm going to pull up HC Realms on my other screen just to be sure because, you know, the monitor over here, monitor over here, monitor over here. I'm all over the place. I think this is one of the keys if you're going to run a show like this. A little bit of, yeah, these are all X-Men. Okay, cool. Yeah, and then Cable's also an X-Men. Moira McTaggart adds Perplex. Eventual Outwit as well as Leadership. Very solid dudes. James ended up in 3rd with his team. So yeah, if you take a good strong look at it, there's a lot of potential with those X-Men Fast Force dudes. Just because you can roll that 5 in a die roll and do extra damage. And you know you roll a 10, it's going to be huge damage. So for each, yeah, it's for each 5. So if you roll double 5s, whew, +2 damage, that's better than a crit in most cases, in all cases. And they all have that prob for themselves, and only if they don't roll a 5 in it. But I mean, prob is just prob, right? Let's not kid ourselves. And then you got Cable prob. It's a theme team, so you got theme team probs as well. It's just generally really awesome. I like this team. Kudos to James on this one. All right, next up, the man who made it, who tried to dethrone Ken, Rick. He was playing the 75-point Earth X. Now, this is an Earth X theme team, as he mentioned. He's got the Black Panther, King Britain, the Skull. This is the Fast Force Skull, not the main set one. That's an uncommon, not good in this format. That is not goodness and not legal. Karnak, Spider-Man. So this is going to be Spider-Man with a gut. What are you looking at my gut for? And 3 thugs, along with a suited henchman. He's got an Asgardian shield and the Skull Camp map bonus for him. So he's looking to run you over with trains, which he said earlier. I love the idea, to be honest. I know me and Tom kind of said it's a little random for the sake of things, but that's not to say don't do it. If you've got a team that's going to do it, do it. Because sometimes the Skull sitting back and just randomly doing that can just be enough. That Black Panther, I think he's got traded like super senses and blades, or is it stealth and blades? One of the two. I have HC Realms open. What am I doing with my life? Black Panther has traded blades, claws, and stealth. And then he'll get charged. He ignores elevated and hindering. He's super mobile around maps. Karnak adds Perplex to your team. Spiders, man. There's so much potential on Dad Bod Spider-Man. It's actually a little over the top when you think about it, especially in format. You're not going to get much out of this, but in the outside world, you can do a thing with the Spider-Man, move a guy. If it happens to be a shifting focus, you replace with the other one and then follow up with that. WizKids. Just saying. If we ever get a double comment shifting focus guy that's super usable, okay. Anyman generator. Sorry, I'm staring at the screen like something's gonna suddenly pop out at me. No, nothing. Okay, cool. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong Black Panther. This is the Black Panther that makes dudes. Whoops, my bad. All right, so I'm going to take that back and say this team just got better. Because it makes pogs. Sorry, guys. I misread that. Give me a second. Ooh, bad idea. Red Bull at 10:30. Okay. So yeah, he's playing him at 75 points. Black Panther is playable at 75 or 50. If he started as Redline, which is probably the 75 point, if I remember correctly, max is 3. So he's going to max 3 of these Anti-Men, and the Anti-Men are Charge, Quake, Empower, extra really cool dudes. And in order to get them, he needs to take a power action. Not a big deal, especially considering he's indomitable. And Fatty Spider-Man, also he's a wild card. And Rick's in the chat telling me that he often copied the Underworld team ability from the Henchman. So there's so much possibility. You end up, I think the way that'll kind of pan out is that you'll actually be able to carry and move a dude because there's no like limitation on him carrying a guy. Let's see, leap climb. When Spider-Man moves after resolutions, you may choose a friendly standard character adjacent to a square he moved through. If you do, place that character. Yeah, so you'd end up being able to carry a dude. In this case, anybody on the team with the Earth X keyword. And then as well, anybody he passes by can also move. So it's kind of like a double carry without actually having passenger too. So I love catching there's little subtleties, and Rick just mentioned that one is like, oh, and then you add that to the oh, and once things start getting explained to you, your brain starts to implode on itself and how awesome this team is capable of being. As well, the Anti-Men give you something to pass damage on to with the skull should you be on one of the Mastermind Super Sense Clix. And to answer your question, Rick, the answer I got from PJ and Jay, Jay being one of the judges I know, and anybody who can tell me can correct me, as far as your Mastermind Super Sense at the same time situation goes, is that when you are hit, your opponent technically can choose the order of which based on the timing of things. So that's what it's been explained to me, but I suggest putting in a comment in the win just to be absolutely sure. Put a question in the win, though. I don't know if they've already answered something like that. But yeah, Rick, I love your team. There's a lot. Sometimes some people will immediately poo-poo the format, and then they won't realize the subtleties that you get or the brand new team ideas you can pull out. I'm always impressed seeing even ideas I haven't come up with show up. My favorite still to this day has been the Court of Owls Assassins, but Rick, you're up there with this idea. All right, next up we have Chris Berger. He had Batman Beyond, Batman the Animated Series, Batman #1, Cable, and the Joker, the 30-point Joker from the Batman Animated Series. Holy crap, Rick's right. He could carry 2 thugs and place the dude. Oh. See, there's so much you could do. This is just your standard good stuff team. Batman Beyond's good. Cable's good. Batman is fine, and the Joker's prop. I mean, how can you not like this? This is just good. It's so strong. There's nothing wrong with a good stuff team. It's actually one of my favorite archetypes that can occur. Yeah, because it's Batman. Batman adds perplex. Joker adds prob. Batman Beyond is just already we've talked about him. We've done episodes for this format on him. He's just that good. And Cable is another one who's just that good. So this is a good stuff team, and there's nothing wrong with that. Chris, you brought it, and I applaud you for it. All right, next up, Kyle. Ooh, I am bad with that last name. I can't quite make it out. It's either Bolg or Bol. Sorry. All right, so we get the Elseworlds Flash. This is the 45-point Flash that's got a really high movement. That same Batman we just talked about with Perplex. Kid Flash is the one that's able to hypersonic and make an attack with his full range. Diana Prince, the Justice Rider, who's got the leadership that can give everybody who shares a keyword with her +1 attack. And then you have that 55-point Green Lantern, really solid taxi. And you've got the Gotham City downtown map bonus. Gotham City downtown map was Bolig. Sorry, Kyle Bolig. Thank you, Rick. I believe that's the one that gives the extra stats to Batman if you win that. And this is, I believe, a Justice League theme team. Oh, maybe not. Batman is Batman Family Detective of Gotham. Flash is Central City Justice League Police Science. Okay, so it's not necessarily a theme team. It's just some really good dudes capable of doing some things. Diana Prince, Kid Flash, capable of Diana Prince is capable of giving Kid Flash some bonuses. And give me a second to just double check one thing. Where's Elseworlds? Come on, Elseworlds. You're still legal for a little while yet. Here we go. Diana Prince, Justice Rider. Can use leadership when she uses leadership. So Green Lantern, how about you? Justice League, I believe, is going to be the one. Justice League. All right, cool. So yeah, Justice League kind of shares between Diana Prince, Kid Flash, and Green Lantern, and I think that Flash as well. Yeah. So all of them are going to get the +1 in attack and defense from Diana Prince if she happens to roll her leadership. I see where he was going, and I feel like the Batman was the one guy that, unless I'm... Oh, this is an Elseworlds Batman. I'm going to shut my mouth now. This is the Batman that allows you to perplex a whole bunch of your dudes. This is an all Elseworlds team. I can't read. I cannot read, apparently, today. I'm just... Gotta stop doing this show. I gotta stop doing this show so late. But yeah, Batman will get extra stats from the map. This is a Justice League theme team because I just learned how to read. So you're generally probably high percentage going to get this map bonus. Diana Prince will affect everybody because I learned how to read a little bit later on during this. There's a lot of stat bumping that can come out of this team. This is a really good team. And even though it doesn't reflect, because Rick put the standings in the chat, I feel like this team is stronger than it finished, and there's probably some dice rolling, or if Rick was indicating how stiff the competition was, how good the players were at this, it was probably a tough number of games. His numbers should match up, but then sometimes the dice will turn on you, and that just happens. So Kyle's got another type of team that I would probably likely play, given the chance to play in the format, though I'm often judging it. All right. So I believe that's actually all of them. Is that right? I got Ken, Eric, James, Rick, Chris, and Kyle. All right, cool. So I want to thank the guys over in Reading at Golden Eagle Games for running the format, running the tournament, and sharing your results. I like that people are currently playing this format and just coming up with new ideas. I was always afraid. There's always that fear. It's like, oh, it's going to be the same. Everybody's going to prove me wrong and be like Cable and Batman Beyond everywhere. And they're there, but they're not dominating. I think they won one tournament that I've reported on with the format. So that is good news in my books, if you ask me. Now, there is still also the unreported report that because we don't have full results of it, I can't fully discuss what it means, but Majestics ran a tournament that was using this format very similarly, and Stiltman kind of stood above a lot of teams, which I expected as well. It was a thing it was not so much a thing I expected, it was a thing I anticipated, the type of thing that I would expect to occur, and that's okay. We're allowed to be powerful in commons. It's not like anybody can't afford these dudes. All right, so let's go back to work and talk about Captain Marvel, because I owe this. Now, I'm still running off of the rumors threads, so there might still be some misprints remaining or anything like that from there, because HC Realms is still in the midst of updating the Captain Marvel part of the unit section. So we're going to go through what's in Captain Marvel, say, if I would come up with something that involves this character, or if I build a team around the character and whatnot. So right out of the gates, figure number 1 is part of the Shifting Focus Captain Marvels, which unfortunately, the second version of this is a rare, so it is not format legal. But as a close combat bruiser, it's tough, it's cool, it's got prob. But just yeah. I mean, it's got a cool effect. It's 100 points to your team though, so you really got to force it to kind of work. Indomitable flies, you know, in a format with all commons, she might stand out a little bit more. But you'd have to kind of build around her, build with her in mind. And there are some psychic blasts. Like, as long as Batman Beyond is out there, he's going to really do a number on her if he gets so much as one attack off on her. Because her range is 0, she's got a minimum 6. I think Batman Beyond is like a 6 range that you can easily get up to a 7 and stay outside of that prob range. So I like her, but I just don't see the team with her myself. Next up, we have the Kree Soldier. This is a 25.4 range, running shot, psychic blast, willpower dude with this Kree Supremacy thing. Kree Supremacy Elite Forces. Once per turn, when a friendly character is adjacent has a keyword, Kree keyword, rolls for breakaway, and the result is 1. You may re-roll that die. If that character is both adjacent and has a keyword, you may instead re-roll a result of 1. You may re-roll a result of 1 or 2. So easier breakaway on bad rolls. Just a generally okay dude. There are going to be like Kree teams, maybe some soldier swarms, depending on whether or not both of those keywords start to see a bit of a boom in the next couple sets. We'll see. The Skrull Warrior, very similar kind of idea as far as what I'm about to say, but Skrull team ability, 4 range, 25 points, Skrull Spy Warrior keywords, ignores hindering from movement, who do you trust trait. If Skrull Warrior occupies hindering terrain, increases shape change roll by +1. Still makes it a little difficult for those Batman Beyonds to get that first shot off. Adjacent opposing characters can't use leadership or be carried. Dudes like this are always just kind of There's a place. There's nothing to build around it with, and the Skrull. I don't even think the 3 keywords he has don't really like kind of stand out in the format, so it could be a filler when we're out of thugs. I don't know. Nick Fury, shield team ability, 5 range, 50 points, shield pass spy keywords, espionage, super spy. Nick Fury starts the game with 3 tradecraft tokens. This is a really cool effect. Free, remove a tradecraft token to give him to choose ignore hindering or for either movement or targeting. Nick Fury can use that ability until your next turn. We only get 1 shot, people. Is a special power in first week Clix. When leadership, when Nick Fury or an adjacent friendly character attacks before the attack roll, you may remove a tradecraft token. If you do, opposing effects can't re-roll that attack. This is a very strong in format dude. Specifically because there's that desire to get prob, and sometimes you have that attack where it's like, I need this attack to hit, and I need to be the only one in charge of that. And I think he will really stand out as far as making those attacks happen. He's got leadership, which is, it's such a strong power. His keyword choices, that's where he becomes a little bit more limited. But I think there's some characters with the past keyword that might fit in. I believe, actually, well, we'll talk about that in a second as I look it up. Modern. Rarity is common. There we go. Because I'm a dum-dum. And we want to look at the past keyword. I think there's going to be a few things. The Cowboys. Duh. All those wonderful Cowboys. Justice Rider team. Characters with the Justice Riders. Who else we got? Sheriff Steve Rogers. It's got the past keyword. But yeah, Diana Prince specifically, Kid Flash, John Jones, all. And if you get one of those, like those primo Diana Prince rolls, just like perfectly timed, gonna make this attack sort of situation, he will help to make that kind of stick, as it were. Although you're hard pressed to get the prob on the team. Yeah. that's kind of a realization I made a little late in my conversation there. We'll see what other sets come up. So if your I mean, you get those perplexes. Just you can make use of this dude. I think is really the where I'm going with that. Next up, Atlas. 5 range, 50 points. Kree Cosmic Spy. His Kree supremacy is his friendly characters, both adjacent and friendly characters that are adjacent or have the Kree keyword modified defense by +1 against close attacks. If that friendly character is both adjacent and has a Kree keyword, they also modify defense by +1 against range attacks. I want to like this guy more, and there's probably a place for him, especially when you consider Sheriff Steve Rogers teams where you're going to get up on your defenses. He's going to make it so that they can't make it easier to hit. If he shared a keyword with Steve Rogers, Sheriff Steve Rogers, I'd be all in on this guy. I would be. But this is going to be one of those cluster teams. It's okay, but he's not great. Jan Rog is a different story. Jan Rog actually probably has a place in this format because I sang his praises a little more than the other guys. Points skew high on in this format because commons are not treated very friendly when it comes to point costs. Let's just say that. But it's leadership, 50 points. Kree Armor Cosmic Soldier. We know armor is a keyword that Cable uses, as well as the Batman Beyond. Soldier also is now leadership for that team. That also contains some Incapacitate and TK, and he gives adjacent friendly characters. When a friendly character that is adjacent or has a keyword hits, you get an extra action on your team. He can make a swarm team really, really function if you want to get those numbers up in your team, and that's traded. His other thing, the Incapacitate Telekinesis, that's a special power. All right, next up, Kree Combatants. Much like the other Kree dude. 25 points, Kree Soldier keywords, Kree Supremacy, Peerless Warrior. Once per turn for all characters with this trait, when an opposing character rolls to break away from friendly characters that are adjacent. The roll of 6. You may reroll that die if at least one of those friendly characters is both adjacent and has a Kree keyword. Instead, you may reroll on a 5 or 6. I mean, plasticity works too, guys. If they roll that 6, they earned it. Sort of situation. I'm nonplussed by this guy, to be brutally honest. As far as format's concerned, like again, there might be a team that makes. When I say there might be a team that makes effective use of him. But it's not a team that's obvious, or it's going to be a team where only this team will use this kind of guy. All right, Scroll Technician. 5 range, 50 points. Scroll team ability. Scrolls inside his telekinesis, outwit sort of combination. He's got the Secret Invasion first half. His second half, once per turn, when an opposing character within range would use outwit, perplex, or prob, you may roll a d6. On a 5 to 6, the character can't use that power until your next turn. This is an okay thing because those are all, like, again, all 3 of those powers, they're in short supply in the format, and when somebody gets a chance to use them, if they're within 5 squares of that Scroll Technician, they got to earn it. And if you can stop it sometimes, you're going to drive people nuts. Next up, Phil Coulson, 50 points, shield team ability, 5 range, shield, past, and soldier keyword. Espionage, always been a collector. Phil Coulson starts the game with 3 tradecraft tokens. When an equipment object would be dropped or KO'd, you may remove 2 tradecraft tokens instead to instead equip that equipment to Phil Coulson or an adjacent friendly character. There's a couple equipments in the format that is super useful for if you're using that this Guardian Shield or what was the other one? As Guardian Shield. Let's just stick with our Guardian Shield. If you're going to use it, keep it. I love these old spy gizmos. Is a special attack power on all 4 of his Clix at 50 points. Precision Strike, free. Remove a tradecraft token and KO a standard object held by Phil Coulson or an adjacent running character. If you do, the character who is holding the object chooses a standard attack power to use this turn. So, pick a power. We all know it's strong in the rest of the game. It's limited, but it's there. All right. And that's the 9 figures in Captain Marvel. There's some stuff to be done in format. A couple of those generics that are just so Superman. Harley's Hammer, that was the other one. Harley's Hammer is Joker's Wild, though. You're gonna start seeing me lean away from stuff that's kind of a ticking clock. Though at the same time, I won't completely ignore it. I will try to steer the conversation, future conversation, like when I'm saying eventually this will do this, or there's a team that will use this, because July is when things are gone. It's March now, April, May, June, July. So it's still 4 months. You're right. But honestly, I start to I have this weird eye where it's like, okay, well, within the 4 months we have, that's going to be a thing. And Harley's Hammer is one of the 2 equipments that we do have, and Harley's Hammer will be worth keeping even on Coulson himself in format. So that's going to be strong. Coulson and Nick Fury both get stronger in this format because of their versatility as commons. And that's something I think needs to be said about movie sets for the Everyman format. Half of the set is commons. And that means it's weird to say, but I feel like the rarity system in movie sets is just completely made up. And the power level is just all over the place. And they just kind of decided that one's rare. That one's common. That one's rare. That one's common. Though the power, like the number of clicks per character does go up in the higher rarity slots in this format. And, the really big beef is up there. But when you think about what the all common format kind of looks like as a whole, it starts to kind of come together for you. So I like Captain Marvel as a movie set is actually a little bit more impressive than I feel like it should be as a movie set, because you always set yourself up for disappointment with these sets. It's really weird. I realized I've made a bit of a mistake towards the patrons, so I'm going to rectify that now, though I don't know how many of our patrons are currently watching at this moment. Let me just quickly open up the phone lines to them, because speaking of patreon.com/MaryClix, if you want to become a patron of the channel, we do at the $5 and up mark offer kind of a call-in portion to this particular type of show, the live shows rather, because we don't do as much recorded content. The early access sort of thing doesn't really add up, as it were. So adding this call in to the show sort of works to incentivize, and is an interesting part. Sometimes you have a question you want to bring in and you just kind of want to be a part of things. All that is super cool. I just got to quickly make a quick post for our patrons for that, because I'm doing so bad at this sometimes. Ever since we switched to OBS, I'm making so many mistakes that I never would have made when we were doing mostly recorded content or strictly strictly Hangouts content. So I'm sorry for this. Call in line for the this is Everyman for everyone, March 21st. Do that now. Boom. Okay. Sorry about that nonsense, guys. A little behind the curtains. I am not as organized as I should be for this kind of stuff. I will also probably need to start preparing content for episodes like this a little better. But in some more housekeeping, I got some good news. Next week will be one of the return of many episodes of Everyman for Everyone. Not Everyman for Everyone. Into the Mind of Madness. Sorry. And it's going to be a Champ Chat episode, because I have taken way too long to get Tyler Spees up on the show. So next Thursday, I'm going to have Tyler Spees on the show to talk about him and his World Championship win, and discuss, everything we like to discuss with champs. Where'd you come from? Where'd you go? Where'd you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? How'd you get there? What'd you do? What's your regime? You know, how'd you come up with your team? That kind of stuff. Because all those little insights are, one, interesting, because when somebody wins, you kind of want to get a little peek into the brain. You want to find out, hey, what'd you do? What's good, bro? How did you come up with this idea? What's your thought process? And what's your regime? What do I got to do to get this good? And it always helps, to say the least. So if you are a patron, the link is out there. If you're a $5 plus patron, check it out. I am going to take a peek, see if we had any questions on the Facebook. If you have any questions live in the chat, put in capital letters question before your question, and we will catch it there, all things considered. Okay, so I'm pulling up those notifications. Facebook, did anybody notice Facebook has gotten really slow recently? It's kind of been a pain in my butt. I got a fast internet connection. It's super weird. Maybe it's my computer. Maybe my computer needs, I don't know. My processor's super fast. I got lots of, maybe I need a little bit more RAM. I mean, I'm using Google Chrome, and that's a bear. That's a bear. I don't know what happened to it, man. It's all that security. Security in the back is going, give me your resources now. We require more resources. All right, nothing in there, nothing in here. All right, guys, this is gonna be a quick one. So I'm gonna leave the window open a little bit as we start to wrap up. I want to thank Rick and the guys over at Golden Eagle Comics in Reading, Pennsylvania, for providing me with the results again. It's always a treat to read and be excited that people are trying the format out. And people like you and your guys have been super enthusiastic about it. I'm always happy to read that you had results and that you're having fun, that you're enjoying things. So you know, overall, let me know how people are enjoying it. If you have any input, email us marriedwithclix@gmail.com. I do love any input, and just put in front of it so that we know. Just say Everyman suggestions or whatever in the subject. Just make it a clear subject line so that we can kind of go through them and see what the general consensus is on things. So, yeah. I want to thank our sponsors over at MajesticCCG.com. Once again, you can check out my most recent article talking about my thought process designing the format and why I made the very simple decision to say, I'm not banning anything. I don't care. Whatever, man. Though, if I do have to make any adjustments, just so as to also kind of point this out now, the map ruling that falls under, like, all legal maps for WizKids are legal for this format. So the two maps that have recently been removed, though they don't have that big an impact on this format, they are also following the same legality rules as WizKids. I just kind of don't want to. I want to follow their rules and keep going, because if they decide to pick up the format, then we can say high five. We're doing things together, guys. All right, I think I've talked at length. I want to say, guys, thank you for enjoying the format. Thank you for watching the show and the conversation about the format. And always remember, guys, when everyone is special, no one is. Have a good night, everybody.